Pokemon. We all love Pokemon. And I'm gonna be talking about my favorite Pokemon of all types. First, the bug type. My favorite bug type is Scyther. The reason why I like Scyther is because it's a bug with sights and has a menacing face. It just looks cool. Next, my favorite dark type. My favorite dark type's Ash Greninja. Ash Greninja looks cool and it's a part of Ash's team, so it's iconic. But not only just that, it just looks cool and awesome. And it's my favorite Gen 6 starter. Next, my favorite dragon type. My favorite dragon type is Garchomp. I love Garchomp. Garchomp is not just my favorite dragon type of all time, it's also my favorite pseudo-legendary of all time. It looks menacing, is humongous, has sharp claws, and hits like a truck. I had a Garchomp on my team and he was instrumental in the run. Next, my favorite electric type. Next up is Toxtricity. And it's not any Toxtricity, it's the amped one. I've always thought that the normal one was kind of boring, while the amped one looks kind of cool. It has a cool combination of purple and yellow, and I had a Toxtricity on my Violet team, and it lived on one in important situations. Next up is the fire type. Next up is Cinderace. Let me explain. I think Cinderace looks cool, but the community tends to hate on it. I think it looks cool, but you guys tend to hate it because you guys think that looks like a rabbit. That's a human. No, that's a human. But I think that's cool, and it's a speedy rabbit, and its face looks cool, and it just looks cool every way. Next up is the fighting type. Next up is Sirfetch'd. Pokemon was an instant favorite when I saw it the first time. It just looked cool. It had a sword, it had a shield, it looked a bit menacing, it looks really cool, and it reminds me of Leaf Blade, which is a cool grass type move. Next up is the flying type. Next up is Talonflame. Talonflame just looks cool. It has a great color scheme. It has a cool face, but that's not the reason why I like it so much as my favorite flying type. It is also my favorite regional bird, but not because of those reasons. The main reason why I love Talonflame so much is because I had a Talonflame named Flame Pajaro in my Violet playthrough, and he outsped everything he needed to because it had a huge speed EV, had a jolly nature, and everything it needed to outspeed it. And I had so much fun outspeeding, getting flame body to other Pokemon, and outspeed and getting no item boosted acrobatics. It was amazing. Now it's time for the fairy type. My favorite fairy type is Zacian. Zacian just looks cool. It has a big blade, has a crown, has wing-looking things. It just looks cool and has a menacing face too. And it looks like it's a cool wolf Pokemon. It just looks freaking cool, and the Galar legendary trio is my favorite trio of legendaries. It's just awesome. Next up is the grass type. My favorite grass type is Rillaboom. Rillaboom looks cool. He's a massive gorilla with a menacing face, but that's not the reason why he's my favorite grass type of all time. He's also my favorite Pokemon of all time. My number one favorite Pokemon. And the reason you do that is because he's my first ever Pokemon I've ever gotten. Here's my starter. My first ever game was Pokemon Sword, meaning that my starter was Rillaboom. I do love Grookey too because I think it looks cute, but Rillaboom just looks cool. Well, I love it, and it'll always be my favorite grass type. Next up is the ground type. My favorite ground type's Great Tusk. I've always wanted to use Great Tusk, but I've never really gotten the chance since it's a Scarlet exclusive, and I don't like the design of Iron Treads. But Great Tusk does look cool, and I am down to use it whenever I'm playing Pokemon Scarlet. And the reason why it's cool is because it has big tusks, which look really cool, and it looks like a menacing beast that I would probably die to. Next up is the Ghost type. My favorite Ghost type is Cerulege. This was a Pokemon that I instantly chose as my favorite Ghost type when I first looked at it. It just looks cool. It had blades that are fiery. It looks like a cool knight. It has flame on his head, and it just looks so cool. And the purple color vibe is just amazing, and it looks like a cool knight with cool blades. And I love the signature move, Bitter Blade. Next is the Ice type. My favorite Ice type is Weavile. Weavile's face looks cool. It looks menacing, and I like its cruelness. And it also has a nice big icy claws. Next up, my favorite normal type. My favorite normal type is Staraptor. Staraptor just looks so cool. It has a cool emo hair, and it's literally a raptor. It looks like a beast. It looks menacing, and looks like it could kill me easily, and it just looks cool. And I had a Staraptor in my Legends Arceus playthrough, and because of that, I just loved Staraptor a lot, and it's just so cool. Next up is the Poison type. My favorite Poison type is Crobat. Crobat looks cool, ominous, and his face looks menacing. I love Crobat, and it looks really cool with its 4 wings, and it has a nice color scheme of purple. And I've always thought that Zubat looks ugly and dumb, and Golbat looks really ugly because of its stupid mouth, while Crobat looks so cool and is really powerful and can launch off no item boosted acrobatics really fast, and I just think it looks so cool. It was a major upgrade from Zubat and Golbat, and if Golbat never got to Crobat, then I would have never caught a Zubat in the first place to evolve into a Golbat, because I only wanted Zubat for Crobat. Next up is the Psychic type. My favorite Psychic type is Orbeetle. Orbeetle just looks cool with its ominous face, and it just looks really futuristic. But that's not the reason why I love Orbeetle. It is also my favorite regional bug Pokemon, but that's not the reason why. The reason why is because I got a shiny Blipbug in my playthrough of Pokemon, but only with a Sobble. And it was so cool because it was my first ever full art shiny. So I caught it and transferred it to my original sword file, and it was just so cool. And because of that, and I love the color scheme of regular Orbeetle and shiny Orbeetle. It just looks extremely cool, like the purple and stuff. Like because of that moment, it'll always be my favorite bug type. It's just so cool that I got a full art shiny without even trying anything to get it. Next up is the rock type. This one was hard. It was extremely hard because although I liked the design of Lycanroc, I never really got to use it and all. So that was out of my list. And although I did have a chance to use it in Pokemon Violet, I didn't really feel like using it, showing that I didn't want to use a Lycanroc at all. But I do still think it's a cool Pokemon. It's just that if I don't use it, then it's impossible for me to get attached to it. So this was a very hard to figure out which one's my favorite rock type Pokemon. But I guess I'll just throw in a random one. And that random one I threw in is Crustle. Well, it shouldn't be on the list, but I have to choose a Pokemon, and the reason why I chose Crustle is because I use it on my bug type only run. But the reason why I put it on my team was a counter to fire types and flying types, and that helped a lot because of Leon's Charizard. He was like one of my best bug types. Not my best bug types, but one of them. But he shouldn't. But I've never really liked it as my favorite rock type of all time. I like Crustle, but I don't think it's my favorite rock type. Next up is the Steel type. My favorite Steel type's Corviknight. Corviknight just looks like a beast. It has metal armor and it's really huge. It looks really fearsome, and it just looks cool. Like it's so cool. But and it was also in my first ever playthrough of a Pokemon Sword team. I love it. It looks so cool and menacing, and it's just great. Although it is very slow, it still looks cool and amazing. And finally, my favorite water type. And my favorite water type is Quaquaval. This is a Pokemon that I instantly loved the first time it has been revealed. Quaquaval just looks so cool. It has a cool face. Its body proportions remind me of Decidueye, and it just looks so cool. Like it has that Captain Hat looking thing. It's a cool dancer, and it's just so cool. I have nothing to say about it. It's just so cool. Thank you for seeing my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Bye.